Stay tuned for Fred MacMurray, Frank Lovejoy, and Hal Perry. Hello there, Victor Ives inviting you to join us now for the golden age of radio theater. Yes, this is the program where we turn back the clock to relive those golden moments of radio's yesteryear and present the greatest radio shows of all time. We have two really good programs for you this time. The Great Gildersleeve from 1944. In this broadcast, the Summerfield Public Employees Picnic turns into a political event. This is the fourth program in our sequence in which the Great Gildersleeve is running for mayor. That's coming up now. However, later this hour on the Screen Director's Playhouse, Suddenly It's Spring, a radio adaptation of that motion picture, and our radio show stars Fred MacMurray and Frank Lovejoy. But first, let's turn back the clock to 1944. This is May 21st. The Great Gildersleeve is running for mayor.
Now let's join our friend the Great Gildersleeve, who is still suffering the pangs of conscience for his momentary lapse into the arms of Leela Ransom a few days ago. He's also suffering because Eve Goodwin hasn't spoken to him since he confessed his slip. We find him now at home trying to gather courage to telephone
her. Let's see. I could just pretend there's nothing wrong at all. Pretend the whole thing's a bad dream. Well, Eve, I can say, how have you been? Where have you been keeping yourself? No good. Maybe I could ask her some kind of a question about my campaign. Ask her how to get the women's vote. Oh, no, that wouldn't do. Maybe if
Don't be ridiculous, Leroy. This costume is just right.
I don't care if it's right or wrong. I won't wear it.
You'll have to wear it.
Won't make me.
Leroy, what is all this, Marjorie?
Leroy has to be in a maypole dance.
Stop it, one at a time. What is this?
Leroy has to take part in a maypole dance at Mayor Terwilliger's picnic, and he's
Just a minute. Let's get one thing straight around here. It's not Mayor Terwilliger's picnic. It's the annual outing of Summerfield City employees. The city pays for it.
The invitation says that the mayor is paying for the ice cream.
Well, the city pays the mayor. What's this about a maypole dance?
The school kids have to do it. Some idea of Miss Goodwin.
If it's Miss Goodwin's idea, it's all right. I want you to cooperate 100%, Leroy, at least.
A maypole dance. That's kid stuff, huh?
It's not kid stuff at all. By a few hundred years ago, the maypole dance was a universal custom. The peasants used to dance around the maypole every spring. Grown-up peasants, too.
Well, I ain't a peasant.
We needn't go into that. If Miss Goodwin's putting on a maypole dance, you'll take part, Leroy, just like the rest of the children.
Oh, I wouldn't mind that so much, but I got a special part.
Oh? What is it?
I have to present the crown to the Queen of the May. They want me to wear this little old Fauntleroy suit and to walk up there with a crown on a pillow. And then I have to kneel down and present it to the Queen of the May.
Well, I think that's a very...
And who do you suppose is Queen of the May?
Who?
Ethel Hammerschlag.
Oh, Leroy, you make me sick. Ethel Hammerschlag is a very nice little girl.
Oh, yeah? The new crowner. I not only have to crown her, but then I have to sit beside her on her throne. I don't even want to go to Terwilliger's old picnic.
It's not Terwilliger's picnic, and you'll go. And by George, you'll wear that costume.
But these pants are too tight. This suit is 2 years old.
It's as good as new. You've never worn it. And today you will. Now go upstairs and put it on.
Oh, for corn's sake.
Go, Leroy.
Okay.
Excuse me, Mr. Gildersleeve. What about lunch for the mayor's picnic? You want hard-boiled eggs?
Ye gods, Bertie, this picnic is not the personal property of Mayor Terwilliger. The city is paying for an outing for its employees.
Yes, sir. You want hard-boiled eggs?
I'm not going. Give the children whatever you have.
Oh, Uncle Mort, I think you ought to go.
And watch Terwilliger swelling around as if he owned the park? No, thank you.
I fixed some fried chicken.
Mm-hmm.
And some nice cucumber sandwiches.
Mm-hmm. Little mayonnaise on them, Bertie?
Just a touch. Then I could put in some of them little baby tomatoes.
Delicious.
I thought I might just whip up a quick devil's food cake, Mr. Gildersleeve, but if you ain't going to the picnic, maybe I shouldn't bother.
Well, the children will enjoy it. Besides, it never does any harm to have a cake around the house, Bertie.
No, sir. Well, I better get with it.
Well, I should think you'd want to go to the picnic, Uncle Mort. I should think you'd want to see Leroy as King of the May.
I'd rather imagine it.
I thought you'd be taking Miss Goodwin to the picnic.
By George, maybe I should, eh? I might call her up and ask her.
Why not?
I think I will.
What's the matter?
Marjorie, I wonder if you'd mind going out on the porch or something just for a minute.
All right, Unky.
I'll leave you alone.
Yes, great. Now.
Excuse me, Mr. Gildersleeve, but have you...
Birdie, I'm trying to telephone if you don't mind.
Oh, pardon me. Must be something private.
Like trying to phone from a cigar store. What if she says no? But if I don't call her, how can she say yes? I don't know how I get into these things.
All right, Unc, I'll leave it to you. Is this a costume?
Oh, for heaven's sake, I'm trying to telephone, Leroy.
Go ahead.
Leave the room, Leroy.
Hey, there goes Mrs. Ransom. Are you going to take her to the picnic?
Certainly not.
Well, she seems to be heading this way.
Oh, my goodness.
Unc, what's the matter?
Nothing. Is she coming here, Leroy?
How do I know? Hey, what are you doing behind the sofa?
Where is she?
Coming up the front walk?
Tell her I'm out, Leroy.
But you're right here. You wouldn't want me to tell a lie, would you, Unc?
You won't be telling any lie, my boy. Tell her I'm out. You don't know when I'll be back.
What a character.
We'll return to the Great Gildersleeve in just a moment. Now back to Summerfield's Public Employees Picnic as it takes a political turn, and the Great Gildersleeve takes advantage of it.
Hello, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Well, hello, Peavy.
Be right with you. I'm just measuring out some mothballs here.
Right ahead, whatever you're doing. I just dropped in. A little difficulty at home, Peavy. I came down here to avoid it.
Oh, well, I know how it is. Excuse me, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Yes.
If you don't mind my asking, who was the party you came down here to avoid?
I'm not mentioning the lady's name, Peavy. I'm withholding that information as a gentleman should.
I only ask because I'm afraid I see her coming in the shop now. Miss Goodwin.
Miss Goodwin? I'm not avoiding her. Or am I? Well, anyway, I guess I'm trapped. Oh, hello, Eve.
Good morning, Throckmorton.
Long time no see.
Good morning, Miss Peavy.
Morning, Miss Goodwin. Nice day.
Yes, it is. I'd like
It was a little foggy this morning, though, but about 9:30 the sun broke through, so it turned out nice after all.
I'd like a bottle of cologne, Mr. Peavy, if you have it.
Cologne? Well, no, there. I'm afraid I'm going to have to disappoint you, Miss Goodwin. Cologne is very hard to get these days.
Cologne is very hard to get, yeah.
I put in an order back about Christmas time, but all they were able to send me was a grocer razor blades, which I, of course, was glad to get, but it wasn't quite...
Like that all over. I heard of a fellow in the hardware business who excuse me.
Have you anything else, Mr. Peavy? Any toilet water?
Oh, yes, I have. I just get my glasses on here. Yeah, I have two here. Now, this one is called Parlement d'Amour, same as the perfume. It has a very nice smell.
Oh, that's very nice. I know that one. I used to buy that for... Oh, it's very nice.
I think perhaps I'd prefer the other one. What's that?
Yes, you'd probably prefer the other one, Peavy. Let's have a look at that.
Well, let's see. This one is called Moment of Passion.
May I smell it?
Yeah, let her smell it, Peavy.
Certainly. If I can get this stuffer out, they stick a little sometimes.
Here, I'm strong. Let me do it, Peavy.
I got it. There you are, Miss Goodwin.
Oh, that is nice.
Care to smell it, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Oh, no. Whatever's all right with Eve is all right with me.
A lot of the ladies seem to like this one.
I think I'll take it. How much is that?
That'll be, let's see, it's written on the bottom here. $1.75 and 20% tax, $2.10.
It's all paid for, Eve. Here you are, Peavy.
Oh, no, please. I don't want you to. Here, Mr. Peavy.
It's all paid for.
But I couldn't think of
it's
having
no
it.
use, Eve. Keep your money.
Throckmorton, if you don't mind.
Well, okay. Gosh.
2.10 and 5 is 2.15, 2.25, 2.50, and 50 is $3. Thank you. Here's your parcel.
Thank you. Goodbye, Mr. Peavy.
Goodbye.
Oh, Eve, just a minute.
Yes?
I mean, speaking of the weather, Eve, are you going to the picnic today, Eve?
I expect to, yes. Some of the children from the school are giving a little performance.
Yeah, I know. Leroy, he can hardly wait. Are you going with anybody in particular?
I'm going with a group of the teachers.
Oh. Well, perhaps I'll see you around.
Perhaps. Goodbye, Mr. Peavy.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Eve. See you around.
Little trouble there, Mr. Gildersleeve?
What do you think?
Well, so it goes. Are you going to the mayor's picnic?
I don't know. Whole thing is just a political scheme to get votes anyway. If she won't go with me.
Well, a lot of things can happen at a picnic. I went to a picnic once. That's when I was a young fellow. I was working for a wholesale drug firm at the time. Dunninger and Holtz it was. Well, sir, I went to this picnic, and who do you suppose I met there?
Your future wife.
Somebody told you.
You did.
Oh, did I? Well, it's a fact. That's the way I met her. Now, who knows? If you go to this picnic today...
I've already met my future wife, Peavy. Only she won't speak to me. For all I know, she won't be my wife either.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, no? You just saw her, didn't you? Saw the way she treated me.
Yes, I did.
As if I were a skunk.
Well, she wasn't very neighborly. But what I always say is actions speak louder than words.
Oh? What do you mean?
Let me ask you something, Mr. Gildersleeve. Has she given you back your ring?
Why, no, she hasn't.
What are you worrying about then? She'll come around.
Peavy, by George. Maybe I will go to that picnic.
I would if I were you.
After all, what's a picnic without a skunk?
Hal Perry will return as the Great Gildersleeve after these words.
Now back to Summerfield and the Great Gildersleeve. The city employees' picnic is well underway with games for the children, tests of strength and skill for the gentlemen, and special events for the ladies, all to the strains of the Sanitation Department Band.
One moment, folks. Just a minute, please.
Terwilliger's going to talk some more.
When you've finished your lunches, you'll find ice cream is being served at that table under the tree there. All absolutely free with the compliments of your old friend and our next mayor, Cyrus L. Terwilliger. Oh, that's me.
The big ham.
Eat hearty, folks.
Sure, eat hearty, folks. It'll all come out of your taxes.
Well, how about it, Uncle Mort? Shall we have lunch?
We better grab some places.
Nah, Leroy, you'll not grab anything. I wonder if Miss Goodwin's around.
Oh, let's invite her to have lunch with us.
Yeah. Oh, I see her. Hey, Miss Goodwin. Hey!
Leroy, that's no way.
Well, here she comes.
Oh, yoo-hoo, Eve.
Will you sit here with us, Miss Goodwin?
I'd love to, Marjorie.
Great. I'll tell you what you do, children. Why don't you go over and eat at that table over there where all the children are and leave Miss Goodwin and me.
But, Unc, I want to eat with Miss Goodwin.
Do as I tell you, Leroy. Take your lunch and go over there. There's a nice place right at the end of the table.
Well, Throckmorton, I don't think you ought to send them off.
Run along, Leroy. You too, Marjorie.
Uncle Mort, I'm not a child.
Then you're old enough to realize that I have things to say to Miss Goodwin. Now, will you run along?
Well, put it that way.
I don't know that I have anything to say to you, Throckmorton. I came over because Leroy asked me.
Eve, please, you don't have to say anything. Just sit here and share my lunch with me.
Really, I'm not hungry. Or I'd have brought my own lunch.
Oh, come on, Eve. I've got plenty. I've got loads here. You see, fried chicken. Here are 2 drumsticks. One for you and one for me.
Boo.
Oh. Judge Hooker, how you startle me. Won't you join us, Judge?
Yes.
Thank you. I'd be delighted. But I seem to have mislaid my lunch. I can't imagine.
Oh, Throckmorton has lots of lunch.
Oh, we're full of lunch.
Do sit down. Throckmorton would be only too glad to have you share his lunch, wouldn't you, Throckmorton?
Sure. Old goat.
In that case, I'll be only too glad to accept the invitation. Well, this is cozy, isn't it, Gildy?
3's a crowd, Judge.
Oh, now, don't say that. Have a drumstick, Judge?
Oh, thank you. I seem to be a little hungry today for some reason.
You're always hungry.
Well, I want to tell you, that's the finest fried chicken I've ever put in my mouth.
Wipe your chin.
Oh.
Throckmorton, a drumstick for you?
No, thanks.
What?
I'm not hungry.
Oh, come now, that's nonsense. There's all this chicken here.
Go ahead and try it, Gildy. It's marvelous.
Thank you, Judge. That's very generous of you. But I seem to have lost my appetite.
Oh, well, all right. But you're missing something. Finest fried chicken I ever tasted. I'm glad now they couldn't find my lunch.
You never had a lunch, and you know it. You old goat, why don't you eat the paper plate, too?
Oh, here's Mayor Terwilliger.
Oh, what does he want?
Well, this is a merry little group. Miss Goodwin.
How do you do?
Judge.
As to fried chicken?
No, thank you. Ah, there, Gildersleeve. I'm going to have to ask you, gentlemen, if I can borrow this lady for a little while.
What?
We're having a pie eating contest after lunch. I'm going to require some assistance from the fair sex in judging it, and if Miss Goodwin here will do me the honor.
I'd be delighted.
Splendid. Oh, but finish your lunch first.
I've finished, thank you.
Oh, let me assist you to your feet, then.
But, Eve, you haven't eaten a thing. Eve, you're not going.
Sorry, Gildersleeve, but duty calls.
You said yourself, Throckmorton, three's a crowd. So I'll leave you two together. Excuse me.
This way to the arena.
Well, Gildy.
And I wind up with you.
Like to hold hands, Gildy?
Oh, shut up. I've got a good mind to go home, but I'm not going to. I'll show her, and I'll show him, too. I'll show people who's the best man around here. I'm going to enter that pie eating contest, and I'm going to win it.
You do that, Gildy. You just do that.
I'm going to.
You just show her.
You bet I will.
You get into that contest and prove to her that there isn't a man in Summerfield who can make a bigger pig of himself than you can.
Ladies and gentlemen, could I have your attention for a moment, please?
What'd I tell you, Judge? He's going to make another speech.
Just keep your shirt on, Gildy. All you can do is be good sport.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends of Summerfield, I only hope you've all had as pleasant a time so far as I've had myself. Thank you. I know some of you have had a good time. There's a certain politician, for instance, who enjoyed winning the pie-eating contest.
Why, you...
I won't mention his name because he's my political opponent. But I can tell you he's a little on the stout side. I wouldn't say he's exactly fat, but I understand one time he had the mumps for 2 weeks before he found it out.
Be a good sport, Gildy. Laugh.
Now, we're not going to have any speeches today, folks. This is just a social occasion. At the same time, if I may take a moment, I would like to call your attention to one or two facts about the political situation at this time. Now, in the year 1776, what was Summerfield?
1776.
In the year 1776, Summerfield was just a tiny village. But in that tiny village were all the seeds of the Summerfield that was to grow into the great and prosperous city of today.
This could go on for days.
The glorious tradition of Summerfield began to grow and expand. In the year 1812, what do we find?
This isn't a speech, it's a filibuster, Judge.
The year 1812 saw the establishment of Summerfield's first manufacturing concern. That concern, my friends, was the Summerfield Iron Works, whose sleds and washboards have since made the name of our city famous throughout the country.
Is he going to tell about every business in town?
We come to the year 1813, and what do we find?
We want Gildersleeve!
The banner year of 1813.
We want Gildersleeve!
Hey, Gildersleeve, how about a song? Yeah, give us a song.
Yeah,
Well, now, that's an idea. Yes. We've all heard your reputation as a singer, Mr. Gildersleeve. Would you like to croon something for our friends?
Well, I'm no professional.
So I've heard. Ladies and gentlemen, I understand that as a singer, Mr. Gildersleeve is a howling success. He will now oblige us with a ditty, assisted by the street cleaning department band.
You're trying to put me on the spot, Terwilliger.
Well, sing and get off of it.
Why, George, well, Mr. Leader, do the fellows know Shine on Harvest Moon?
We can try it, Commissioner. Key of C only.
Oh, fine.
Harvest Moon, fellas, and do the best you can. 1, 2...
Shine on Harvest Moon, up in the sky. I ain't had no lovin' since January, February, June, or July. Snow time, ain't no time to stay. outdoors and smooth. So shine on, harvest moon, for me and my gal. Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Gildersleeve. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if I may resume.
We want another song.
If I may resume my...
song, Commissioner. Yeah, give us another song.
Well, I'll do my best, folks. Go ahead and play something, Mr. Leader. If I know it, I'll join in.
Well, how about without a song?
Oh, yeah, that's very good. Great. Without a song, the day would never end. Without a song, the road would never bend. When things go wrong, a man ain't got a friend. His heart's so true, one who loves nobody else but you. I want a girl just like the girl that married dear old Dad. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
All right, Gildersleeve, now get off.
Don't you wish I would?
That's all, Gildersleeve.
So, Williger, I'll sing just as long as there's a demand for this stuff.
You can sing all night for my dough, Commissioner.
Well, thank you.
Well, you can't sing all night for mine.
Well, you can't stop it.
Oh, yes, I can. Quiet, quiet. You there, leader.
Yes, Your Honor.
Take that bunch of street cleaners home, or you'll all lose your brooms in the morning.
Oh, Uncle Mort, you were wonderful.
Huh?
Wasn't he wonderful, Miss Goodwin?
He certainly was,
Did you
Marjorie.
hear the way that crowd cheered? Well, I think he could run for president.
Yeah, I'll get the regular Sinatra.
Yes. Run along, little boy, run along.
I suppose you'd like me to run along, too, huh?
Well, the sidewalk isn't wide enough for all of us, my dear. Why don't you and Leroy just walk ahead, huh?
Come along, Leroy. Give him a break.
How much is there in it for me?
Leroy.
Okay.
That's a boy.
Well, shall we start home, Throckmorton?
Oh, if you'd like.
I was very proud of you this afternoon, Throckmorton.
Oh, that's all?
Yes. I thought you handled a difficult situation very well.
Nothing much.
It could have been very embarrassing. You know, when Terwilliger got you up there to sing, he was trying to make you ridiculous.
That was his mistake.
I think he found that out. Throckmorton.
Yes?
Nothing.
Eve, what's the use of bluffing? I can't be mad at you.
Well, I can't stay mad at you. When you sing the way you did just now, I don't know, something happens to me.
Oh, well, that's because I was singing to you, Eve. Just you.
Were you?
You think I could sing that way to anybody else?
Oh, darling. It's been so long.
Eve.
Hey, for Pete's sake, come on! Hey! Oh, let's go, Marge. I'll be there all night.
For May 21st, 1944, the Golden Age of Radio Theater has presented The Great Gildersleeve. Now it's time for radio drama in the form of a radio adaptation of a motion picture film. The Screen Directors Playhouse presents Suddenly It's Spring. Our stars are Fred MacMurray and Frank Lovejoy.
From Hollywood, the NBC Theater presents...
Screen Director's Assignment. Production, Suddenly It's Spring. Director, Mitchell Lyson. Star, Fred MacMurray.
Hollywood Screen Directors present Love on a Note of Laughter, the romantic motion picture comedy Suddenly It's Spring, starring Fred MacMurray and introducing the director of the film, Mitchell Lyson.
Now, here's the story, starring Fred MacMurray in his original role of Peter, with Virginia Gregg as Mary.
troop ship steamed up the Narrows, moved proudly down the fairway, and was wharfed neatly into its New York pier. The ship's rails were jammed with returning soldiers, and among them was Captain Morley, formerly of Morley and Morley, attorneys at law. Captain Morley was eagerly scanning the crowd on the dock, looking for that other Morley who was a partner in marriage as well as in law. After all, they haven't seen each other in 7 years. And where was the other Morley? The other Morley, spouse to Captain Morley, was in a telephone booth on the pier. Telephoning, of course.
Hello, Violet? Honey, the ship just docked. Yeah. Thousands of dog faces aboard. That's a fine thing to say about my wife and a whack captain at that. Now, honey, look. Any American soldier's called a dog face, even if he is a woman. Yeah. Of course I love you, honey. Sure, I love you. That's why I'm here to meet my wife. I'll get her to sign the divorce consent the minute she's in the apartment and a bit settled. Huh? Yeah. Oh, I think I see her coming down the gangplank now. Goodbye, darling. Mary. Oh, excuse me. Mary. Captain Morley. I'm sorry. Mary. Here I am, Mary.
Peter.
You're here, Captain.
Peter, darling, how are you?
Hello, Mary.
After all these years.
Mary, you have a nice boat ride?
Is that all you can say after our being apart 7 years?
Let's go home, huh, Mary?
Well, that's more like it. What is it?
I've got those divorce papers there for you to sign.
It isn't.
Isn't what?
More like it. Well, let's go home, Peter. Home again. At last.
Yeah, home at last. I'll get my things together and move out right away.
Peter.
Hmm?
Peter, we haven't seen each other since 1942. Are you absolutely sure we want this divorce?
Why, yeah. Aren't you?
No. I've changed my mind. I'd like to save our marriage. And quite aside from that, I'm in the Army teaching whacks how to make their marriages work, and my own husband's demanding a quick divorce. How does it look?
Well, I wasn't demanding, Counselor. I've got to go about it in this way. As long as you're in uniform, I've got to get your written consent to the divorce.
But I won't be in uniform forever. Can't you wait until I'm out of the Army and help me save my face a little?
Maybe we better talk about this later. What are you doing for tonight?
Nothing in particular.
Well, how about having dinner with me?
Are you being nice to a returning serviceman?
I'll pick you up at 8. We'll go to the Moonlight Terrace. Remember the Moonlight Terrace?
Yes. Soft music. A table in the corner. Shall we bring our briefcases?
Hello, Violet? Yeah, I just left her in our apartment. Her apartment, I mean. But I'm moving out, I tell you. Oh, yeah, she looks all right. Lost 15 pounds in the Army. After all, I dropped 30 pounds myself in the Pacific. I ought to drop the other 170 in the Atlantic? Well, Violet, that's not a very kind thing to say. I'm doing my best to get Mary to sign that divorce consent. I'm having dinner with her tonight, and I'll get her to sign then for sure. Sure. Oh, sure, you can go out with Jack Lindsay. That's only fair. Besides, Jack is my best client. Yeah. Well, have fun and give Jack my best. Yeah. Bye-bye, baby. And in consideration of such agreement, the following real and personal property shall be divided as follows. One cooperatively owned... Mary.
I'm listening, Counselor.
One cooperatively owned apartment, Mary. One beach house with location as specified in... Hey, Yasha, why don't you take that fiddle of yours and go watch Rome burn?
Peter.
Peter, why don't you order pumpkin? Philistine ignoramus. Peasant.
Fiddling in my ear like that radio comedian.
I asked him to play, remember? Suddenly it's spring.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's see, where were we? One piano, baby grand, Mary. One combination radio phonograph, Mary. One washing machine, Mary.
Doesn't Violet wash?
One combination chess and checkers set, me.
I thought Violet had sex appeal.
Now, Mary.
Now you sound like that radio comedian.
Mary, I took you to dinner here for a serious chat about jumping Jupiter.
A favorite steeplechase horse of mine, jumping Jupiter.
Mary, look, I've got to go and make a phone call, a very important phone call. Excuse me, I'll be right back.
Now let's look around and see what made Jupiter jump.
Well, good evening, charming and beautiful Who's It? But wasn't that Peter Morley, the eminent attorney, who just fled this table?
Why, yes, it was.
Well, I'm Jack Lindsay, his richest and handsomest client, and this is Violet Fay.
I'm Mrs. Peter Morley.
I'm in trouble.
Tell me, Violet, what do you hear from my old man?
Hello, head waiter. This is Mr. Morley. I'm calling from the cloakroom. Now, look, will you take a telephone inside to Mr. Jack Lindsay's table? He's with a lady. Now, I want to talk to the lady. Thanks. Hello, Violet. I want to warn you that the brunette sitting alone at the table near the bandstand is Mary, my wife. Oh, you're Mary, my wife. They came over to our table, huh? Well, it's grand. Violet looks just like Miss Emily Borda. Who's Miss Emily Borda? Oh, Miss Emily Borda of 1929. Don't be catty, Mary. Look, put her on the phone, will you? That's a good scout. Whack, I mean. Oh, Lord. Oh, Violet? Violet, this is Petey Pie. Now, look. No, Violet. Is it my fault that Jack just happened to take it to the Two-Light Maris? I mean, the Mine-Tooth Laris? I mean, never mind. Mary and I were just going over the settlement papers. Yes. Oh, I'm sure I'll get the consent signed tonight. No, I won't go home with her. Don't worry. Well, all right. I'll get her to sign in the morning when she's got cold cream on her face. Is that all right? Well, I'll spend the night with Jack. Okay. I'll take you home first, and then I'll spend the night with Jack. Okay. Let me talk with Jack now, will you? Jack.
I'm sleeping.
Well, wake up. By what right do you take Violet to dinner when I'm out with my wife?
Well, you told her I could.
Well, that was after you asked her.
You know what I think, Pietro?
Oh, don't fracture your brain. What?
I think your wife is still in love with you.
Why?
I don't know. Is she interested in natural history?
Now, don't give me egg-shaped answers to square questions.
Well, I made a pass at her.
You did?
I always make passes at girls I make passes at.
What happened?
I must see my dentist concerning a loose tooth.
She probably likes you.
I'm encouraged no end. If she ever loves me, will I live? Oh, no, Amici, not at dawn. Hello. Oh, darling, hello. No, not at all. I'm glad you called. Listen, haven't I given you some of the best leers of my life already?
Corn is still green.
You're going away? Fort Sheridan? The war is over.
Hey, is that Mary?
All right, I'll have my hotel operator call you at 5 a.m. Good night, sweet princess, and flights of angels sing thee to thy rest. Night.
That was Mary.
Mary's taking a little lamb to Fort Sheridan tomorrow.
To Fort Sheridan?
Orders. She's leaving on the North Side Limited.
Well, she can't do that. I've got to get that divorce consent signed before she leaves town. She can't do that.
What on earth are you...
Listen, Peter's on this train, too.
Peter?
Now, Mary, if you make any attempt to hold your husband, you're making the mistake of your life. Now, let him go. Sign those papers and get him out of your beautiful hair. You're young. You've got a right to love and marriage. With me, of course.
Mary,
Oh, hello, Peter.
What were you two talking about?
Each other.
Jack, old boy, would you mind if I had a word alone with my wife?
Remember what I told you, Mary. Make everybody happy.
Well, I think he's fond of you in his bungling way. Good catch.
I'll unpack if you don't mind.
You're back in uniform, I see.
I hate traveling in a low-cut evening gown, don't you?
Counselor?
Sorry I had to leave New York in such a hurry. A new assignment. Advising wax at the Port Sheridan Separation Center in the art of being happily married.
Well,
I'm making a stopover in Detroit. Perhaps you'd like to join me
look,
there.
I'm getting off at Harmon. And all I want for you to
There
do is
seem to
sign...
be so many misunderstandings these days.
Mary...
Marriages break up for no tangible reason.
Yeah, now, Mary, will
I'm
you...
just wondering if too many married couples give up too easily without giving their marriage every possible chance to survive. And in my work at Fort Sheridan, I'm going to stress the fact that out of every marriage in the United States...
Hello, Violet. Look, honey, I haven't got much time. I'm phoning from the station in Harmon. In Harmon? Yes. I'm on the train bound for Chicago. Well, I'm trying to get this consent signed. No, I haven't yet. Oh, sure, I'll get her to sign before we get to Poughkeepsie, for sure. Oh, here, I gotta go. My train's pulling out. Yes. Yes, I will. Come on. Hello, Violet. I'm in Poughkeepsie. No, Violet, not yet, but, well, look, I can't help it. Things keep on happening. People keep on interrupting, and then my fountain pen doesn't write, and when I try to borrow a fountain pen...
Peter!
Go away, Jack, will you? That was Jack, darling.
Pietro!
Violet, look. Violet, are you there? Come in, New York. Come in, New York.
Pedro, my friend.
No. She hung up on me.
Also, your train has departed.
Gone?
If you're more comfortable with monosyllables, gone, yeah.
Oh, it doesn't matter, Jack. I can see now. Mary will never give me that divorce while she's in uniform.
Yes, she will, or I'll die trying. Now, look. Mary's stopover in Detroit gives us a chance to get back to LaGuardia and beat her to Chicago by plane.
And what does that get us? The Bendix Trophy?
You could persuade Mary to sign that consent if you'd only use your head. Now, stop taking her to dinner. Stop calling her darling and consulate. Up to now, you've been turning on the charm like a cover boy, so the more you're around, the more she wants you around.
Oh, so what do I do? Poker with sharp sticks?
Well, there must be some certain type of man she can't stand. If you're as repulsive to her as I'm sure you are at heart, she'll drop you like a hot brick.
You know, that might work at that.
Sure it will. Get repulsive. You can do it. Pour it on.
Pour it on?
Yeah, pour it on.
It's wonderful of you to help me like this, Jack. So unselfish. Like a bat borrowing blood.
Poor Mary, she'll hate you in Chicago, thanks to little Jackie.
Yeah. Peter Morley, the louse that Jack built.
From March 27th, 1949, the Screen Directors Playhouse is presenting Suddenly It's Spring, starring Fred MacMurray. Now back to our radio adaptation of the movie Suddenly It's Spring.
Well, there's Mary now, Peter, surrounded by newspapermen on that whack major. Here's your cigar.
Oh, thanks.
Now hold it.
Now?
No, hold it.
All right. Send me in, Coach. I'm fresh as a daisy.
Now, don't forget, blow cigar smoke in everybody's face.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah, ready.
Be beastly.
Right.
Let's go.
Mary? Hey, Mary, look who? Superman, remember?
Peter, for heaven's sake.
Welcome to Chicago, hog butcher of the world, baby. Come on, give me a great big smacker, huh?
Peter. Please, Peter.
How do you like her, folks? A little woman. All we had in the Pacific was coconuts.
Captain Morley, what is the meaning of this? It's all right, Major Cheever. This is my husband, Peter Morley.
Mr. Mary Morley to you guys and gals. Mr. Mary Morley, attorney at law. My card, folks. Here, boy, take the card. Here. You ever get in a jam? Look me up, folks. Take a card. Here,
Major Cheever, reporter, photographer.
How are you, Mage? Knock those chips off your shoulder, eh, Mage? Well. Come on, little woman. We got matters to attend to. Long time no see, except the coral sea. Some joke,
Really, Captain Morley, we must get back to Fort Sheridan.
Yes, Major Cheever.
Oh, ixnay, Major. I've got reservations at a hotel. Can't you give the little gal a break?
Well...
That's a girl, Major. Now, how about a great big...
No, and stop blowing smoke in my face. It makes my eyes water.
Major eyes water. Major, that's another joke. I got another joke. Oh, man, Major eyes water. Hey, you know, Major... That reminds me of the story. I don't know what I can tell it. That reminds me of the story about the gopher and the kangaroo.
Really? Mr. Morley.
Oh, is there such a story?
We'd better go now, dear.
I understand everything, Captain. Goodbye, Mr. Morley.
Goodbye, Major Ivewater. And now behold the bridal suite. Love seats drenched with costly perfumes from
That'll be enough, Peter.
Lamps shedding filtered moonlight.
May I congratulate you on your splendid performance?
Well, anything to help the little woman in her career.
You mean anything to get that divorce consent? You've made me an object of ridicule to the press and my fellow officers. Object of pity, married to a goon.
Senior grade.
Logic tells me to sign and hand over that consent. But I'm not going to do it.
You're not?
Not just yet. You can cool your heels in the living room until I've settled the problem. In my own way.
But, Counselor...
Good night.
Peter, answer the telephone. It's right beside you.
The phone? No. Hello? Oh, Violet. You're down in the lobby. What are you doing down in the lobby? How did you know we were... Oh, Jack told you. No, don't come up yet. I am not. I just loosened my tie a little, that's all.
Peter.
Now, wait a minute, Violet.
Please have a call back in a minute. I'd like to talk to you.
Yeah. Call back in a minute, will you, Violet? I'll be free to talk then.
Come in here.
I dasn't. You come in here.
All right. I'll come to you. I don't have commitments elsewhere. You want your freedom very much, don't you?
Well, don't you think it'll be best all around?
Well, I hate to see the person I think you are going to pieces before my eyes, just for the sake of my signature on a piece of paper. I don't like to see you lose your dignity like that. It's partially my fault. I suppose I should let you go without a fight. Except that I found out I'd never fallen out of love with you. It's all over now.
Being in love still?
Fighting to hold on to you. If you really want to go, here's the divorce consent all signed. That is, if you really want to go. Peter?
Yes? Yes, Violet. Yes, it's all signed. I'm coming right down. That's ready to go when the truckmen come.
Everything of yours packed up, Peter?
Yeah, I'm all set.
You're not taking much. But it leaves the apartment looking awfully empty somehow.
Yeah. Counselor.
Yes?
I
Peter?
wish you'd get the divorce. I feel so silly going to,
But you men always wanted equal rights with women. Are you going to pose for the papers with your legs crossed, Peter?
Are you going to marry Jack Lindsay?
He loves me. He is a good catch.
Hello. Oh, hello, Vi.
For once, I'd like it to be someone selling subscriptions.
Well, yeah, Violet, everything's all packed in two neat little cases ready to go. Yeah, but Violet, all I need is my clothes. Mary's entitled to most of the furniture and the piano and things. After all, she's a woman. Oh, sure, Vi, you're a woman, too, obviously, but... No, Violet, you won't have to stand up during our first year of marriage. I'll buy new furniture. All right, I'll talk to her. Mary.
Who keeps that woman in nickels? You?
Mary, Violet seems to think I should have asked for more in the settlement.
She's getting you, Peter. What more does she want? However, you forgot the things in the closet which weren't discussed and which are yours for the taking.
Stuff in what closet? What stuff in the closet?
Over here. Forgotten trifles of the Morley marriage, the remnants of a love that was young and brave, if I may grow so chintzy. This platter up here. Remember?
Well, what do you know? Sure I remember.
We saved our first client from going to jail, and he paid us off in this rare bit of china.
What if the man was charged with robbing a china shop? We proved he was innocent to the jury. But we'd never talk about it to ourselves, would we?
I wanted to throw the darn platter away to begin with.
Well, why didn't you say so?
Why didn't you?
Let's do it now, why don't you?
Roger. I feel better already.
And then this music box. I got you that for our first anniversary, remember?
Oh, yeah.
It played music and you could keep cigarettes in it.
What'll they think of next? Flying machines, I bet.
I gave up a permanent for this little box and you broke it.
Well, I didn't mean to break it. I was just clowning around with it, remember? Dancing around with it and singing. Why is my heart dancing? Imagine. Sing.
Peter, get off of my sofa. Peter! Oh, Peter, are you hurt?
Bring out the chain and measure. I'm sure we made a first down.
Well, what else in the closet? Oh.
What?
This. It's hurt us more than anything else.
Oh.
You bought me this layette. It was so sweet. You're doing it. Usually it's a woman who...
Oh, it would have been nice to have a baby.
And you wanted it so much.
Oh, well.
I'm sorry, Peter.
I know. But instead of going into your shell and trying to lose yourself in your work, you could have given me a chance to prove it didn't matter.
It mattered, all right.
Yeah, but we could have talked it over. We could have adopted a baby, or maybe a couple of them.
Isn't it strange, Peter? Everything we've taken out of this closet proves that there'd have been no misunderstandings in our marriage if we'd been honest with each other. Even this music box. Wanted to have it fixed, but you claimed you hated the tune.
Hated it? I liked it.
If that broken box got to be such an issue, you wouldn't admit it.
Well, people are children, you know. Well, you keep the music box.
Oh, no. No, you keep it.
No, but I bought it for you.
No, I want you to have it.
Here, take it.
I wouldn't think of it.
Take it.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Peter.
Hey.
You fixed it. Listen.
We fixed it.
All it needed was a shaking up, just like people. Peter, isn't it sweet? It's like it used to be. And to think it's been in that dark closet all these years when all it needed was to be shaken up.
Hello. Yes, Violet. Yes, Violet. Yes, Violet. Violet, listen. Listen, before you go on, there's something I've wanted to tell you for a long time. Violet. Get lost!
Peter! That was the loveliest thing I've ever heard you say. My wonderful good man.
Senior grade.
That's the Screen Director's Playhouse, starring Fred MacMurray and Frank Lovejoy. In just a moment, we'll be back to talk about the book, The Big Broadcast. I get quite a bit of mail from students who write and ask for a good reference book on old-time radio. Well, I suggest a book called The Big Broadcast, 1920 to 1950. This is a book which was written by Frank Buxton and Bill Owen. I remember them from ABC television and a weekly TV show they had, but for the life of me, I can't remember the name of the show. At any rate, their book, The Big Broadcast, lists practically every radio program, and it was published by Avon Books, a division of the Hearst Corporation, 959 8th Avenue, New York, 10019. You can find it at many bookstores. Well, that's it for this golden age of radio theater broadcast. Victor Ives speaking, thanking you for being with us and inviting you to join us next time we turn back the clock to relive the golden moments of radio's yesteryear and bring you some of the greatest radio shows of all time.
For a copy of today's program, call 1-800-326-0296 and refer to show number 26. That number again is 1-800-326-0296. And remember to refer to show number 26.